3 boats from a Gaza aid flotilla have turned back to the starting ports in Greece after their Swedish flagship was intercepted by the IDF. Campaigners against the blockade of the Palestinian territory say they have had no contact with it since it was approached by the Israeli Navy. It set sail for Gaza from the Mediterranean island of Crete on Saturday and planned to reach its destination by Monday morning. Now the vessel is reportedly being escorted by Israeli ships to the port of Ashdod. RT online columnist Nadezhda Kevorkova is on board. We are unable to reach her right now, but we did speak to her earlier before the Israeli interception.
Да, мы видели, над нами летал военный вертолет, мы не смогли его познать. И сопровождал неизвестного происхождения военный самолет, который двигался очень медленно, очень близко над водой, параллельно с нами.
The crew and activists on board have started uploading video statements on Twitter, pre-recorded in case the mission fails.
If you see this video, this means that we are under attack on international waters by the Israeli Defense Forces.
If you see this video, it means that the Israelis have broken international law again. It means that they took us as prisoners, acting like pirates. It means that again they have prevented us to reach Gaza.
I hope you will see this film, this video, because if you do, then the Israeli commanders have stopped our ship, our mission to break the siege of Gaza.
Well, RT journalist Richard Sudan had planned to join the flotilla on another boat and catch up with the vessel, which has now been seized. He's been keeping track of the project from the get-go as activists prepared for their mission in Greece.
There's international activists from all over the world, from all walks of life, ranging from musicians to scholars, humanitarian aid workers, former parliamentarians, serving parliamentarians, a former president, actually, in fact. So everyone's been preparing for this mission for some time. Everyone's united around a common cause with a shared objective of raising the plight of the Palestinians in Gaza. So I spoke to the activists before they actually set sail and asked them what their aims and objectives were.
There are 1.8 million people that are living in Gaza, this tiny little area, and it's been under siege for now 9 years. And the people of Gaza need to know that the international community is concerned about them.
What the people especially in the United States, where I'm from, they don't realize what's going on in the West Bank and what's going on in Gaza, how the Palestinians are being treated, about there being a blockade for the whole Gaza Strip for a number of years, illegal blockade. So it's important that we get the word out.
It seems that everyone kind of has the same shared objective of raising the issue of what's happening in Gaza. People from all areas of public and civic life are taking part. It's a mission which aims to raise the plight of the Palestinians on an international basis.
Israel describes the raid on the Gaza flotilla flagship as, quote, uneventful, and says there are no casualties. RT's Paula Sleer has more on how the IDF operation was carried out.
According to the IDF, their commanders boarded the ship only after issuing several calls in which they urged the ship to change direction. We understand that the passengers on board did not put up a fight, so there are no reports of violence on board. There are 18 passengers on board this particular ship. Among them are a high-profile Arab member of the Israeli parliament and also a former Tunisian president. We spoke with him and other activists who said that they were well aware that Israel would not allow them to actually reach the enclave, but that their mission really was to draw attention to the plight of people inside Gaza.
We know that Israel may stop us, but we have to do something. We have to go to the end. We have to try to go to Gaza. The world should not forget that 2 million people are denied their basic human rights, and this is not acceptable. This is why we think that the world should be aware of the suffering of the people of Gaza.
Now, we expect the ship to arrive in Ashdod in the next 12 to 24 hours. From there, the passengers will have statements taken from them, and then they will probably be escorted out of the country. They will be detained, of course. There were 3 other ships participating in this flotilla. They have turned around and are making their way back to their origin of port. 47 activists in total, drawing attention to the Israeli siege on Gaza that has been in place for the better part of 8 years.
Well, preparing for Monday's early morning raid, the Israeli Prime Minister's office sent a letter to the members of the Freedom Flotilla.
Welcome to Israel. It appears you've made a mistake along the way. Perhaps you meant to sail somewhere not far from here, Syria. There, Assad's regime is massacring his own people every day with the help of the murderous Iranian regime. There is no blockade of Gaza, and you're invited to transfer humanitarian supplies through Israel.
Let's get live reaction from the Israeli Foreign Ministry. Deputy spokesperson Oren Rosenblatt joins me from Jerusalem. You're welcome to the programme. We heard from activists saying they were, quote, attacked by Israeli forces. Why are you using the military against civilian ships? We seem to have a loss in connection with our guest at the moment. We'll try and get Oren Rosenblatt a little bit later in the programme. Our previous efforts to reach Gaza with much-needed humanitarian supplies have also failed. The most dramatic attempt took place just over 5 years ago, when a Turkish flotilla with hundreds of pro-Palestinian activists was attacked by the IDF.
Come back and take your seat. İsrail sabah namazı zaman.
Well, we'll continue trying to get in touch with the people on board that aid vessel, including our journalist. When we hear more about it, you will be the first to hear on air and online at rt.com. But before that, let's return to that top story. And the Israeli Foreign Ministry will give us a live reaction now, we believe, from Deputy Spokesperson Oren Rosenblatt, who is joining me from Jerusalem. Let's try and make connection now. Can you hear me, Mr. Rosenblatt?
Yes, I can hear you.
We heard from activists saying that they were, quote, attacked by Israeli forces. Why are you using the military against civilian ships?
Israel declared a naval blockade over Gaza already in 2009. This is according to the international law, according to legal experts, but not only us, the people who are saying it, but also the UN Secretary General said that this naval blockade is according to the international law, and our way to stop these ships is only by our ships.
What can you tell us about the fate of the crew and activists on board the intercepted ship?
They are fine, and they are in their way to Israel. In Israel, we will accept them in the harbor of Ashdod. Maybe it will be tonight. I think I will be there myself. And we will send them from Israel as soon as possible.
Israel sent a letter to the flotilla activists. We saw it a few moments ago live on television. Why, saying that they made a mistake and should have headed to Syria. Why is the Prime Minister's office taking such a sardonic tone here?
When you're talking about sarcastic letter, this is because it is a sarcastic situation. Because in Gaza, there is no humanitarian crisis whatsoever. I heard a little bit about what your reporter said before about a siege in Gaza. There is no siege in Gaza.
Well, can you really say that? Sorry for interrupting you, but we know that civilians are being left homeless, they're hungry because of Israeli attacks. That's really quite a statement.
Yeah, I can say it very clearly, and there is no siege over Gaza. We have hundreds of truckloads of goods coming to Gaza every day, and we can send even more goods can enter Gaza. The only reason why there are no more goods it's because the Gazan merchants, this is what they are buying, and these are the goods that are entering Gaza. In Syria whatsoever, there is a humanitarian crisis there. There are hundreds of thousands of people that are dying, and if the people of the flotilla, they would like to help people in humanitarian crisis, they should go to Syria.
I'm sure the people in Gaza would disagree with that statement themselves. Is it enough that you're sending your own aid to Gaza? Is there enough actually going into Gaza, especially after last summer's devastating conflict?
There is enough, and there is enough according to what the Gazan citizens and merchants are buying. There is no limitation from our side to have even more. They can buy more and more can get in. There is no limitation about regular goods coming to Gaza. There is limitation about arms and about materials that are dual use. But every other goods can enter almost freely to Gaza. And I invite your reporter to go to the Gaza crossing border and to see hundreds of trucks going there every day, all the time. I guess it's a little bit boring to show because it's happening all the time, every day. But this is the situation. This is the reality.
Oren Rosenblatt, Deputy Spokesperson for Israel's Foreign Ministry, thanks for joining us on the programme this hour.